My child, please don't scroll past. I can't keep this to myself any longer. Today, right at this very moment, I have to tell you this. This message appearing on your screen is no accident of the algorithm. The universe had to shift tens of thousands of variables just to make this divine appointment happen right when you are feeling the most overwhelmed. I know you are running on empty. I was right there during those long nights when you curled up in the dark, silently consumed by pain and unspoken pressures. I saw you putting on a brave face to be a pillar for others, always saying I'm fine, smiling during the day but letting the tears fall when you were finally alone. I heard your choked-up sobs when you looked up and whispered, "Have you forgotten me? Why do I always have to carry everything on my own?" My child, my silence during this time was something I had to keep under wraps. You thought I turned a blind eye when your plans fell apart, when opportunities slipped away, and when the people you trusted most chose to walk away. You were heartbroken and called it a deprivation. But today, the curtain must be pulled back. I am not taking anything away from you. I am pruning you. I had to clear out the rotting foundations, remove the people who no longer fit, and change the circumstances that were silently draining your energy. When a silversmith puts gold into the fire, he is silent, but he never takes his eyes off it. Neither do I. I stepped back to let the fire of trials melt away the impurities, but my hands were always there to catch you so you would never completely fall. And today, I officially announce to you, the test is over. The reason I had to keep this a secret until now is that I have been busy arranging a massive miracle behind those closed doors. If I showed you too soon, your anxious mind wouldn't dare to believe or receive it. But now, you are ready. From this moment on, I am taking over this battle directly. Every financial dead end, every deep wound, every feeling of aimlessness, all of it will be compensated and multiplied. But before I pour prosperity into your life, I need to know if your heart has truly taken off its defensive armor. If your soul is vibrating upon hearing these words, take a deep breath and type this down below. I release my burdens and receive my miracle. And please, stay with me. Don't leave before this message ends, because in the final moments, I will hand you a mysterious sign, a specific key for you to recognize exactly what wonderful thing is about to knock on your door in the coming days. Be still and listen to me. Are you still listening to me? I know you are still here, because deep down in your soul, you have always been waiting for this conversation. Relax those tense shoulders of yours. Take a deep breath. That's right. Let my peace wrap around you right now. Now, I want to talk to you about the darkest shadow you've had to face, the silence. Be honest with me and with yourself. Haven't you broken down so many times because of that silence? It's a silence so thick, so cold, and so heavy that you felt it suffocating your chest. It was those endless nights tossing and turning, tears soaking your pillow, mumbling patched-up prayers, but it seemed like they all just hit the ceiling and bounced back. Not an echo, not a ray of light, not a single pair of arms reaching out to catch you. You looked at the world out there. You saw others constantly moving forward. You saw doors swinging wide open to welcome them, miracles seemingly coming to them so effortlessly. And you stood there, in your own darkness, stuck in one place. You started comparing yourself, started beating yourself up. Your heart tightened with thousands of questions. Why me? Did I do something wrong? Is my faith not strong enough? Or have you truly turned your back and crossed my name out of heaven's book? Those thoughts have torn you apart, making you bleed from the inside. I know it all. My child, I know the exact night your hope was so fragile it was ready to snap. The night you closed your eyes and whispered in pure exhaustion, "I give up. Maybe good things just weren't meant for me." But right at this moment, I demand that you take those words back. I want you to engrave this truth into your mind. The silence you walked through was never abandonment. It was absolutely not a punishment. It is a profound testament to something the world rarely understands: trust. Let me explain this to you. What does a master refiner do when he wants to create a masterpiece out of raw gold? He doesn't place it on a soft velvet cushion. He throws it right into the middle of a blazing furnace. That fire is brutally hot, strong enough to melt anything. If the gold had feelings, it would surely scream, "Why are you burning me? Why are you torturing me? Why did you bring me to this place of destruction?" But does the refiner walk away? Never. When the fire blazes the fiercest, that is when he steps the closest. He leans forward, his eyes never leaving the gold for even a split second. He is silent, watching intently, adjusting the temperature with pinpoint precision. What is he waiting for? He is waiting until all the impurities, all the dross, rise to the surface to be skimmed off, until the gold becomes so pure that he can see his own reflection in it. Only then is the fire put out. My child, I am that refiner, and you are my most precious pure gold. Throughout the time you were in the furnace of adversity, you thought I had walked away, but no. I had never been closer to you. I was right beside you. My eyes never once left you. I controlled that fire, ensuring it was only hot enough to melt away the impurities inside you, your pride, your invisible fears, your dependence on unworthy people, and the illusions keeping you from greatness. I carefully watched over that fire to let it do its work, but I absolutely never allowed it to scorch the core of your beautiful, kind soul. My silence is not my absence. When a teacher hands out a test to his students, the whole room falls silent. The teacher doesn't stand next to the students and whisper the answers in their ears. That silence doesn't come from cruelty. It comes from confidence. The teacher is silent because he knows the capability of his student. I was silent because I know exactly what formidable power I placed inside you. I know you are a warrior, even if your wings are temporarily drooping from exhaustion. I was silent to force you to stop looking for answers on the outside, to stop begging for worldly validation, and to start turning inward to awaken the divine power you possess. Do you understand now? My child, surviving those suffocating days, keeping a kind heart even when the world treated you so harshly. That was when you passed the greatest test of all. And while you thought I was ignoring your prayers, heaven was actually working overtime behind closed doors. I didn't just hear your pleas. I was busy rearranging the entire chessboard of your life. I shifted people. I redirected financial currents. I orchestrated opportunities with a precision that human minds could never calculate, even if they tried their hardest. I am building a massive stage for your comeback, but for a magnificent mansion to be built, the land must first be plowed and cleared out. For new and great things to have a place to land, I had to create voids in your life. And this is when the most painful process began. Have you ever wondered why people you loved and trusted with all your heart suddenly betrayed and abandoned you? Why the plans you had firmly in your grasp shattered at the last minute? Why you lost things you once thought you couldn't live without? Don't look away from the screen right now, because in this next part, I am going to expose a shocking truth to you. I will show you the chilling reason behind those losses, and you will realize it wasn't a deprivation, but a cosmic-level protection. If you miss this beat, you will carry resentment in your heart forever. Take a deep breath and keep walking with me, because right now, the curtain of the past is being lifted. That's right. My love, let these truths sink deep into your soul. As I said at the end of the last part, to prepare you for greatness, I had to create empty spaces. And now, I will strip away the veil and show you the real reason behind the losses that once caused you agonizing pain. Think back to those moments when everything seemed to collapse all at once. Relationships you were certain would last forever suddenly snapped. People you entrusted with your whole heart, whom you treated with everything you had, turned their backs and walked away, or left you with a gaping wound. The plans you worked so hard to build, The opportunities that seemed securely in the palm of your hand vanished into thin air at the very last minute. At that time, you stood amidst the ruins of your life, looked up, and blamed me. You asked, why did you take this from me? Why did you take away what I loved the most? But listen closely. My little child, I didn't take anything away from you. I was performing a pruning. Imagine a master gardener caring for his most precious grapevine. If he truly loves the vine, would he let it grow wild, its branches tangling chaotically? No. He takes his sharp shears and begins to cut. He cuts away the dead, withered branches. He cuts away the branches growing in the wrong direction. And most ruthlessly, he even cuts away the lush, green branches that are silently draining the vine's nutrients without ever bearing fruit. When the shears slice through, the vine will bleed sap. It looks bare, sparse, and wounded. It might think the gardener hates it and wants to destroy it. But the gardener knows the truth. If he doesn't cut away the excess and the toxic, the vine will remain forever stunted. Its roots will never run deep, and a glorious harvest will never come. You are that precious grapevine. And recently, you entered heaven's pruning season. The people I allowed to leave your life, they were never destined to walk with you to the end of the road. They were only sent for a short stretch, a specific season to teach you a lesson, or to mirror the weaknesses you needed to change. But when their season was over, I had to close that door. If I didn't force them out, they would have become sucker branches, draining your peace and energy. Where I am preparing to take you, you cannot bring along people with low energy, those harboring envy, or those who do not appreciate your true value, those shattered plans you cried over and regretted. If I had let them succeed, they would have become an iron cage, trapping you in a mediocre version of yourself. The doors that slammed in your face, leaving you scraped and humiliated, were not actually rejections, but the universe's grand redirections. It wasn't a punishment. It was an invisible shield to stop you from stepping into traps that only my vision could foresee. Everything taken from you were merely illusions, unable to bear the weight of the reward you are about to receive. I am straightening out your path. Now, as the veil has been lifted, I want you to shed all your regrets, all the burden of self-torment, and all the resentment toward your past. Open your tightly clenched hands. If you truly understand and believe that all your recent losses were my grand way of clearing the path, confidently type this phrase below to set your soul free. I trust in your divine timing and arrangement. That's right, my love. When you typed those words, an invisible chain binding your mind officially broke. You are safe in my embrace. And now, I want to talk about you. I want to talk about how you reacted during that brutal wilderness season. This is what made all of heaven tremble and swell with pride over you. This world teaches people, when you are hurt, retaliate. When you are trampled on, become ruthless. When you suffer loss, scream and become bitter. But you didn't do that. I saw everything you did in the dark, where there were no spotlights or worldly praises. I saw you choose silence and endurance, even when you had all the evidence and logic to expose the people who falsely accused you. I saw you choose goodness and kindness, even as your heart bled from betrayal. And above all, I witnessed the most sacred act. I saw you forgive those who never knew how to utter an apology. You forgave people who didn't even realize what they had taken from you. You didn't forgive them because they deserved it. You forgave because you chose peace over the flames of hatred. You chose to walk in my light instead of sinking into the mud of vengeance. The world looked at your patience and called you weak. The ones who hurt you thought they had won. They thought your silence was surrender. But they didn't know this. And neither did you. Your obedience and your kindness were not weakness. It was a weapon of mass destruction in the spiritual realm. Your refusal to become toxic like the ones who hurt you. Your choice to keep giving love, even when your emotional bank account was empty. That wasn't submission. That was a declaration of war. Every time you swallowed your tears and chose to do the right thing, you were smashing the bricks in the fortress of darkness. Your holy tears did not fall meaninglessly to the ground. My angels gathered every single drop, turning them into diamond seeds planted in the field of your destiny. Yes, the test didn't measure whether you were in pain. It measured who you would become when the ultimate pain struck. And you passed it with flying colors. But my child, did you know that precisely because of this radiant light inside you, precisely because of your incredibly pure heart, you caught the attention of another force? The terrible events that relentlessly came at you recently were not entirely just natural bad luck. An invisible force deliberately orchestrated those tragedies to break your spirit, to stop you from reaching the crown I had already forged for you. Don't look away. Right now, in the next part, I will lift the final veil on the spiritual warfare that has been silently raging around you. I will show you how terrified the darkness was of your power. And most importantly, I will declare how every curse, every chain rooted in your bloodline will be severed. Forever. Right at your generation. Prepare your soul, because this truth will set you completely free. Linger in this quiet space with me just a little longer. Now that you understand your recent losses were my loving pruning shears, I need you to see the big picture, a truth far greater than what your mortal eyes can see. Have you ever wondered why the storms all rolled in at the exact same time? There were seasons when you had just resolved one crisis, only for another tragedy to strike. Finances dwindled, health declined, malicious rumors swirled, and the people closest to you turned their backs. The hardships came in relentless waves, weaving together like a giant spider web. The world calls that a streak of bad luck, a rough patch. People often sigh and blame it on fate, but let me tell you, no bad luck is ever orchestrated that meticulously. What you just went through was not a law of nature, it was a literal spiritual battle. My love, darkness never attacks the empty. A thief never bothers breaking down the door of a house with no valuables inside. The dark forces targeted you precisely because they saw the brilliant mass of light and the grand mission I placed inside you before you were even formed in the womb. They saw the crown of influence, prosperity, and healing power you are about to receive, and they were terrified. The true purpose of those relentless tragedies wasn't just to make you sad or rob you of a few dollars. No. The enemy's most venomous plot was to use those traumas to inject a poison into your soul. Bitterness and resentment. The enemy wanted your wounds to fester. He wanted injustice to take deep root in your chest, turning your gentle heart into a cold stone. He wanted you to look at life with cynical eyes, to become ruthless to protect yourself, and to curse me in the nights of your despair, because he knows heaven's law very well. A heart full of hatred and bitterness can never open up to receive massive blessings. If he could make you bitter, he would have successfully sealed away your destiny. The world looked at your circumstances then and judged. The world called your standstill a failure. They saw you stalling while your peers were advancing, and they called it falling behind. But heaven doesn't see it that way. When the world called it a loss, heaven called it a purification. When the world called it dull stagnation, heaven called it preparation. You are like a sharp arrow in the hands of a master archer, for the arrow to fly the farthest, to pierce through every barrier and strike dead center. What must the archer do? He must pull the arrow backward, back into the shadows, back into tension as tight as a bowstring. In that moment of being pulled back, the arrow thinks it's moving backward, but in reality, it is accumulating a terrifying amount of kinetic energy. You were being pulled back only to prepare for a launch that will shake the entire atmosphere around you. And this is what makes all of heaven sing songs of victory. The enemy set a perfect trap, but you didn't fall for it. As I said, you chose to forgive, even with trembling hands, even with a bleeding heart. You opened the fists that were tightly clutching your resentment, and you let it go. You said, God, I don't understand what you are doing. I'm in so much pain, but I choose to trust you and I surrender this mess. The very second you uttered those words in the silence of your room, a shockwave rippled through the invisible world. Your obedience and forgiveness did something far greater than just soothing yourself. It shattered chains. You didn't just win for yourself. Because of your resilience and unwavering love, I used it to sever a cycle of darkness that had taken root deep in your bloodline for a very long time. There are generational curses, recurring financial lack from one generation to the next, broken marriages, inherited mental illnesses, self-doubt, and suppression, things that have clung to your family line for ages. But today, I declare that dark cycle is officially broken. Right at your generation, you are the chosen one to stand in the gap and stop the flow of generational trauma. The poverty stops with you. The abuse and the coldness stop with you. From you onward, your lineage will walk only in prosperity, love, and my brilliant light. You are the chain breaker. The forces that once tried to imprison you have now been stripped of all their power. They no longer have any say over your life. I have dispatched an army of angels carrying swords of light to surround you, to shield your home, your work, and the people you love. From this moment on, no weapon forged against you shall prosper. If you can feel this powerful protective energy wrapping around you right now, if you believe that the chains holding you back have truly shattered into 100 pieces, seal this spiritual victory right now. Boldly type this down below. Amen. I receive my protection and victory. When you type those words, you are confirming your absolute liberation from all dark forces. You are safe. Your territory has been marked by my light. But my child, after the ruins of the battle are cleared away, what will emerge from the ashes? Are you wondering who you even are now? After walking through all those wounds, do you feel like a shattered mirror that can't be pieced back together? Don't leave. The words I am about to speak will expose the truth about the person you have become after this test. I will show you the new blueprint of your life, and you will understand this truth you didn't shatter. You were just cracking open so a magnificent life inside could sprout. Take a deep breath, because winter has truly ended, and the dawn is calling your name, my love. Carry that feeling of victory and keep walking with me. Now, as the chains of darkness have truly fallen away, and as you sit in the quiet with yourself, do you see a soul covered in scars? Are you shrinking back, timidly wondering if, after all those storms, the betrayal, and the deep wounds that tore at your heart, the remnants of who you are is just a damaged, broken creature that cannot be fixed? You look at your losses. You look at the wear and tear on your youth, on your faith, and you fear you have become a worthless ruin. I need you to hear this very carefully. Let my words strip away the film of insecurity clouding your eyes and binding your mind. You are not broken. You are simply cracking open. There is a cosmic difference between these two things that the world rarely understands. When an inanimate object is smashed, it loses its function and becomes scrap to be swept away. But cracking open for a living being is a sacred process. The mandatory pain of life. Look at a precious seed buried deep in the cold earth. As long as its hard shell remains intact, it will forever just be a dormant seed in the dark. That shell has to crack wide open. It has to endure the ultimate stretching to make room for growth, so the life inside can pierce through the thick soil and reach up to catch the sunlight. The tragedies, the agonizing pain you went through was the cracking of that old shell. The proud egos, the deep-seated fears, the limiting beliefs that the world shoved into your head, and your reliance on unworthy people. All of it had to crack open so the real you, the holy version, full of power and pure love, could rise. Those cracks you are trying to hide are not flaws, nor are they signs of damage. They are the crevices where the light of my grace shines deep inside you. And it is through those exact cracks that your compassion and empathy can pour out to warm this world. A jar that has never cracked is often sealed so tight it can't receive anything, nor can it give anything away. But your cracking has become a sacred permeability. Therefore, today I officially lay my hands on your trembling shoulders and declare, the fire has finished its job. The grueling course in the wilderness has come to a close. You are no longer the person who walked into that fire. You walked out of it with the purity of solid gold, not flawless perfection by human standards, but a profound stillness, a razor-sharp wisdom capable of seeing through all things. You are ready for a new level of greatness. And now, let me show you the blueprint of healing that I am carefully rolling out before your eyes. In this phase, healing does not happen loudly. It is incredibly gentle. I am going deep into your subconscious, touching the inner child who is shivering and crying from being abandoned, rejected, and judged. I am pulling that child into my embrace, comforting it with my unconditional love. I am uninstalling toxic memories and reprogramming your anxious thoughts, the sleepless nights tossing and turning, the unprovoked panic attacks gripping your chest, the feeling of always having to be on guard against the world. All of it will gradually melt away like morning dew under the sun. You softly ask me, what do I do now? How do I move forward when I can't clearly see the road ahead? My advice to you right now is incredibly simple, but it requires massive faith. You don't have to fight anymore. Stand still, be quiet, and let me work. For so long, you have been used to fending for yourself. You drew up plans. You hustled. You tried to untangle dead-end knots with your own small human hands. You used anxiety as a substitute for faith. Used rushing around to cover up your fear. When the storms hit, your survival instinct made you thrash about. But now, I am asking you to lay down your weapons. Take a step back and stop trying to control things that are above your pay grade. Your only job now is to keep an open mind. Maintain the frequency of gratitude and allow yourself to rest. Every problem, every debt, every tangled knot. I have officially taken over, right as you are listening to this message. The fog covering your future is slowly dissipating. Your vision is about to become clearer than ever before. Behind the invisible veil that mortal eyes cannot see, I am busy putting the final puzzle pieces into place. I am moving the hearts of the people who need to show up to help you. I am swinging open doors of new opportunities, unexpected financial breakthroughs that your mind hasn't even conceived of yet. I am repairing the connections that truly belong to you and pushing those with toxic energy out of your orbit forever. I know you carry many desires for material things and stability. Because you are living in a human body, you need to be fed, clothed, and protected. I have never turned a blind eye to those practical needs. I am the God who understands both the spiritual and the material. Do not think I only care about your soul while ignoring the bills you have to pay. But I have a kingdom principle I want to teach you. Peace always comes first, and the resolution will follow. Don't wait for everything on the outside to be perfect, for the debts to be fully paid, or for the people who left to return before you allow yourself to be at peace. When a strange, profound tranquility suddenly wraps around you, a sense of relief so deep that you no longer feel panicked, even though your current circumstances haven't seemingly changed yet, that is my preceding signal. That peace is heaven's signature. A whisper in your ear saying, everything is already sorted out. I have signed off on it. Can you feel the relief spreading through every cell of your body right now? Does your chest feel a little less heavy than the moment you first started listening to this message? Take a deep breath and let that grace fill your lungs. That is the healing beginning to operate. But my child, peace is only the beginning. Heaven never stops at just making you okay. Heaven wants you to be prosperous. What you have lost, the bitter tears you shed in the dark corners, they did not vanish into nothingness. They have been collected, measured, and convert it into a massive asset. The seasons are shifting. The season of struggling to survive has officially closed. And the dawn of an abundant life is breaking brightly. Nothing can stop the waterfall of compensation pouring into your life right now. If you are truly exhausted from fighting on your own, if you are ready to lay down your weapons and allow me to lead the way in this brilliant new chapter, free your mind right now. Type this phrase below, "I surrender control and peacefully receive," and close your eyes for a second, feeling my love enveloping you. Because in just a moment, I will reveal to you exactly what this multiplied compensation looks like, and why the people who turned their backs on you will be stunned when they see the position I am about to place you in. You typed out that sentence of surrender, didn't you? I saw it. All of heaven recorded the moment you opened your hands. And true to the promise I just made at the end of the last stretch, it is time for me to lift the final curtain, so you can see with your own eyes just how magnificent this multiplied compensation looks, and why those who once turned their backs on you will stand in absolute awe at the position I am placing you in. Listen very closely. O child who carries many scratches but possesses the heart of a king, this earthly realm operates on the law of exchange, one for one. When you lose something, the world teaches you that you will get back the exact equivalent, or perhaps even worse. But heaven never operates in such a poverty-stricken way. My greatest law is the law of multiplication. Anything you place into my hands, whether it's a sacrifice, your tears, your endurance, or the agonizing days of waiting, it never disappears. It becomes a seed, and when that seed is sown into the fields of heaven, watered by your faithfulness in the midst of the storm, it doesn't grow into a solitary tree. It explodes into an overflowing harvest. I know there are times you look at the wrinkles at the corners of your eyes, look at the graying strands of hair, and let out a bitter sigh. You mourn your youth. You grieve for the prime years you think you wasted on unworthy people, on draining jobs that yielded no results, on relationships that left you with nothing but humiliation. You are terrified, thinking that it is too late. You feel time is working against you, and you don't have the strength to start over from scratch. But who am I? I am the creator of time. I stand outside the stream of time, and I am the master of it. Today, I decree a miracle that the human mind cannot fathom. I will restore to you the years that the locusts have eaten. I will redeem time for you, what takes others 10 years to build. I will give you the grace to achieve in just 1 year, maybe even a few months. I will accelerate all your blessings. My restoration is not putting you back at the starting line, it is catapulting you forward, placing you exactly where you would have been had those tragedies never occurred. You will look back and realize that not a single second in the wilderness was wasted. The wisdom and depth you gained in those dark days will be the exact leverage for you to soar in the coming glory. You are not late. My timing for you is always absolute perfection. And now, I want to talk about vindication. I know you carry wounds caused by injustice. There are people who slandered you, people who twisted the narrative to make you the villain, when you were the one who sacrificed the most. There are those who took advantage of your kindness, drained your value, and ruthlessly tossed you aside when you were no longer of use to them. When they left, they thought you would collapse. They were certain that without them, your life would sink into darkness. They gloated over their petty calculations, and you had to bite your tongue and endure that false accusation in silence, because you knew that even if you tried to explain, no one would believe you. But my love, do you remember what I taught you? Keep silent, for this battle is mine. You did your part brilliantly by staying silent, and now it is my turn to do my part, vindicating you in front of the whole world. I am preparing a lavish banquet for you right in the presence of your enemies. I am not elevating you so you can get revenge, because revenge belongs to a low vibrational frequency, and you no longer belong there. I am elevating you so that my glory can shine radiantly through your life. Those who mocked you, those who abandoned you when you were empty-handed, the doors that slammed in your face with disdain. They will have to stand at a distance and watch in awe at how I bless you. They will see you smiling radiantly, emanating a peaceful aura, draped in the cloak of prosperity and authority. They will realize just how precious a jewel they lost. Your elevation, your happiness, your spectacular transformation will be the most resounding answer to every slander. You won't need to open your mouth to prove a single thing. The entire universe will become your spokesperson. This compensation will be so undeniable and brilliant that even the biggest skeptics will have to exclaim, "Surely the Most High is with this person." I also understand the gnawing anxiety in your stomach every time the topic of finances and material stability comes up. I know there were nights you had to flip through every page of your ledger, calculating every penny, agonizing over what you would use to cover next month's expenses. I know you felt suffocated by debt, by the responsibility of caring for your family, and by the insecurity of money slipping through your fingers like sand. You begged me for a breakthrough, not out of greed, but because you simply craved the freedom to breathe, to truly live instead of just trying to survive day by day. That plea has reached my throne. The provision I am releasing into your life right now is not just pocket change for a temporary fix. I do not operate in patch-ups. I am throwing wide open the vaults that have been held back for so long. The material compensation will come to you from directions you never expected. It could be a sudden business opportunity dropping into your lap without you having to fight for it. It could be long-stuck funds suddenly being released. It could be an idea flashing in your mind in the middle of the night, $1 million idea, enough to completely change your family's financial landscape. I am mobilizing resources, altering the decisions of those holding the finances to direct the flow of wealth toward you. And the reason I trust you with this wealth is because I saw how you behaved when you had nothing in your hands. When you were the most broke, you were still willing to share your last piece of bread. When you were the most exhausted, you were still generous enough to forgive. Your heart has not been corrupted by money. Therefore, the prosperity I bring will not be a trap that destroys you, but a tool for you to expand the kingdom of love. You won't just have enough for yourself. Your cup will run over, spilling onto the people around you. You will become a provider, a helper, a walking blessing that anyone who touches will receive grace. But I know, even as you hear these grand promises, deep down inside you there is still a tug of war. Half of your soul is cheering with joy, but the other half, the half covered in scars, is cowering. Your protective ego is whispering, "Don't hope anymore." How many times have you hoped only to be bitterly disappointed? What if this time it's just another illusion? I understand that fear of yours. When a person has been starved for too long, they often don't dare to believe in a lavish feast. When a person has walked through too many lies, they often panic at a sincere promise. You are afraid to hope because you are afraid of getting hurt one more time. You would rather build a high brick wall around your heart, telling yourself you don't need anything at all, than taste the feeling of falling from a great height. But today, with all the tenderness of heaven, I am asking you to tear that wall down. Oh, my brave child. Do not let the disappointments of the past rob you of your capacity to receive the future. Be brave enough to hope one more time. This time will be different. This time, it is not the empty promise of flawed mortals. This time, it is the promise of the one who hung the stars in the sky, the one who set the boundaries of the ocean, and the one who carved your name into the palm of his hand. What I start, I will surely finish. There is no coincidence in this message being broadcast and you being the one to receive it. These words carry a power that reshapes reality. When I speak, the universe must listen and realign. This compensation already has your name on it, already stamped with the red seal of the throne. Your only job right now is to expand your mind and allow yourself to be worthy of it. Stop shrinking yourself. Stop telling yourself that a little piece is all you need. No, get ready for the overflow. Get ready for the smiles that bring tears to your eyes, the celebratory hugs of victory, the moments when you drop to your knees not to beg in agony, but to burst into tears of sheer gratitude for a miracle so utterly extraordinary. The transition is happening this very second. The darkness has dissipated. The dawn of glory is shining right on your face. The doors to the harvest have officially swung wide open. If you have heard enough, understood fully, and have not a single shred of doubt left about your own worth, this is the time to officially sign the contract of this grand compensation. I want you to gather all your remaining faith, silence the voice of fear, and seal your miracle right now. Type this down below. As an oath to the entire universe, I am worthy. I open my arms to receive your full and multiplied compensation today. Yes, as those words are typed out, every contract of poverty, suffering, and deadlock is officially torn to shreds. You have stepped into the territory of limitless prosperity. Everything is sprinting toward you at the speed of light. Now, as your heartbeat settles, as your chest feels feather-light and overflows with the warm energy of rebirth, walk with me to these final moments. Because, as I promised right from the start, I have a special sign I want to hand directly to you. A little secret between you and me, so that in the next few days, when you see it, you will smile and know for sure I was there, and your miracle has officially begun, my love. We have reached the final moments of this sacred conversation. Your chest feels light now, doesn't it? That is the energy of liberation I just breathed into your soul. And now, as I promised from the very beginning, reach out your hand to receive my secret sign. In the next 3 to 7 days, pay very close attention. You will receive news from a direction you completely did not expect. It could be a phone call, a text message, or a door of opportunity suddenly flying open. But here is the most important part right before that good news hits. Your mind will suddenly fall into a state of unusual stillness. There won't be a trace of anxiety, restlessness, or fear. Just an inexplicably profound peace washing over you. Even though your external circumstances might seem unchanged at that moment, when you feel that strange lightness, smile softly. That is my gentle touch on your shoulder. That is the secret signal I am sending to tell you the paperwork is done. Your miracle is officially activated. Your journey through the wilderness is truly over. Tonight, when you lay your back on the bed, I do not permit you to carry any burdens, sorrows, or tears from the past onto your pillow anymore. Close your eyes, relax your entire body, and sleep deeply, peacefully, like a child curled up in my protective arms. Rest, my child, because tomorrow, when you wake up, I have already gone a step ahead of you to clear every obstacle out of your way. I love you with an eternal and unshakable love. If the words I have spoken today have truly touched the deepest part of your soul, soothed your wounds, and rekindled the flame of hope, I ask that you do not keep this light to yourself. There are millions of my other children out there who are also collapsing in the dark, yearning to hear these comforting words. Become an extension of heaven's hands by subscribing to the channel and liking this video. Every small action of yours is a seed of goodness, helping me spread miracles and healing to those who are in the deepest despair. You are joining me in bringing lost souls back to the light. This place is a spiritual resting stop that I have raised up, and it is sustained and grown through the open hearts of you all. If you feel an inner prompting, a desire to sow a seed of faith, to partner with this sacred work, and to seal your own prosperity in this new harvest season, boldly send a portion of your offering. You can click the Super Thanks button right below this message, or use the QR code on the screen to sow your seed. Remember, whatever you place into my hands with love and a willing heart, I will never let you be shortchanged. Every seed you sow today will be recorded by the universe and multiplied hundreds of times over. reaped as overflowing blessings in your life and your family line. I see your heart, and I pour out abundant blessings on those open hands. Thank you for being still and patiently listening to me up until this very moment. The peace of heaven's throne will always be with you in every breath. Smile and step forward with confidence. I will see you in the most brilliant new chapter of your life.